Hello, everyone, and welcome. We have guests both in our recording. Good afternoon, everyone. And then we also have our viewers that are going to be watching this video. The reason we're creating this video is to model how you can use breakout rooms in Zoom, and also how you can make a presentation to your students if you have them joining you in Zoom. So the first step we're going to model here is how to use the breakout rooms feature. So we have 4 students in the class, 1 instructor. If I come down here to the breakout rooms button and go ahead and click that, you'll notice I have 2 options. So I can automatically create the breakout room, and if I click that, it's showing me what that looks like. And so then I can open all rooms. And so those people should be entering their rooms. Looks like Natalie and Melina are in there. And Brogan and Panay are in their room. And you'll notice that I, as the instructor here, as the host of the meeting, I can join in those rooms. So I might join breakout session 1. It takes a few moments.
Craziness.
And now here we are with Melina and Natalie.
Hi.
Hello. How is your conversation going?
Good. Very well. Yep.
Well, I'm glad you're actively participating in class. I'll see you in a few moments because I'm going to go check on our other group.
Okay.
So as you'll see, I'm going to return to the main session. And oh, it looks like Ryan Dunn has joined us. He's in there. And if I click on the breakout rooms, then I can also come in and check on. Let's assign Ryan. If I click him, I can send him to breakout room 1 if he joins. And then I'm going to go ahead and check in on breakout room 2. Takes a moment.
And then the aftershock, I thought, oh, yeah, it's for sure an earthquake, because now we've had an aftershock. Oh, here's our teacher.
Hello, I'm glad to catch you that you're actively participating in our discussion, and I hope you're not all too shaken from today's earthquake.
We're recovering.
Yes, recovering.
Good. I'd like you to continue talking about the topic, and just as a little bit of a warning, I will be closing the discussion room shortly, so I'll see you back in the main room in about 60 seconds.
All right, we'll join you.
Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and click this Close All Rooms button. They're all getting the same warning that I have, that in 55 seconds the rooms will automatically close. And they also have the option of returning to the main session. So we're going to return to the main session. And Brogan is already there. And it looks like Panay is coming back.
Yep, here I am.
And Melina and Natalie are probably, they're using that time to wrap up their conversations to find a good place to stop. But once that timer runs out, they will be with us automatically. Give them another moment. I appreciate your patience.
Oh, here they are.
Here they are. We've all gathered back together, and maybe we would share out some salient points about the earthquake. We have Ryan's also joining us now.
Yeah, he's having trouble with his technology.
And that's something that
I have 3 computers on at once. Give me a break.
Sounds like you're doing pretty well, Ryan.
I don't know how well I'm doing, but I was trying to see the end of what Wei had to say at our department meeting about anything we needed to be aware of right now. But anyway, go ahead.
So thank you all for joining. Right now we're continuing to model how this might look for instructors that have not used Zoom. So the last thing that we've modeled the breakout rooms. The last piece is just, well, let's say I want to do a presentation now that we've all gathered together. I can use this share screen button right at the bottom, and then if you have multiple desktops or apps running, it's going to give you some choices. I can either choose my desktop or I could choose this PowerPoint that I already have open. So you'd want to, if you were going to make a presentation, you'd want to have it open prior to your meeting starting. But I can go ahead and share this, and I can go to present. I can play this from the start, and then this way I could use the full real estate of the screen to communicate whatever my presentation was. Once I'm finished making the presentation, I'm going to click that stop share button. Okay. And then I'm back in my room. And then if someone else talks, like maybe Natalie, you'll notice she should probably take over the box.
One of the things that I wanted to mention is that there are some participant buttons, and maybe Ryan, you could demonstrate how to move through those, whether you go to the thumbnail or the gallery, and how that changes.
So
each.
Yeah, so thank you, Natalie. So we're going to go ahead and if we do this manage participants, that will bring up all of the users that are in the room right now. So maybe, like if I click on Natalie, I could stop her video if I needed. I could make her a host, which she actually already is a co-host of this meeting. I could give her permission to record the meeting. Or maybe I'd spotlight her video. Let's do that. We can do that with Panay. So if we spotlight Panay, then that will ensure that she has the center frame.
The center of attention for a minute.
Yes, and this would be helpful if maybe we were making presentations and then Panay was going to be presenting. We can also change the view. So if we come over here to gallery view, then we get more of larger boxes with everyone. Natalie, any other things that I should point out?
One thing I want to mention, I actually appreciate that Ryan, his video is missing. I'm concerned about bandwidth as we go on fully online with live classes, with synchronous classes. So one thing way to manage that would be to ask your students to turn off their video. Mm-hmm. If you're concerned about participation, you can check on them every once in a while, move them into the gallery view, but also make sure that if you're having trouble or if it's, I want to use the word pixelating, but that's not the right word. But if the connection is bad, that might be a way that you can control that a little bit better if you're live with all of your students.
Yeah, and so if for the people watching the video, they can see how I'm highlighting. I can have the students click on these buttons to stop their video, or maybe mute if they have like a dog barking in the background, a child crying. They might want to mute. But as the host, I can actually go ahead and like, I'm sorry, Panay, I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna stop your video for a moment. So I can stop Panay's video, and then that puts her back on just a picture. But I can then go ahead and turn it back on. And actually, I have to ask her to start her video again. So she's gonna have to opt back in.
There.
And the same thing, I can, for those of you watching the video, I can mute their microphones too. So if there's just too much noise coming from someone, I could mute them or even unmute them. So any other?
What about the chat function?
Chat function, yeah. So if we come over, so back on the toolbar, we may want to have like a side channel discussion. So maybe people might be asking questions. So I can send a message to everyone. Welcome to our meeting as the instructor. But then I can also send individual messages. So I could say to Melina, thank you for helping moderate a difficult conversation. Okay, so maybe someone's really helping out as in facilitating, so I can send that privately. Other tools on the bottom.
Maybe, Brian,
Yes.
mention the record button
Yes.
for students who might not be here today.
So yeah, and so thank you, Panay, and as Natalie pointed out before, that we may have bandwidth issues. So all of a sudden, the entire world is on Zoom. So maybe it's not working as well. So maybe we ask them to I just lost my train of thought, Panay. What were you saying?
About the record button.
Yes. Okay, so sorry about that. I'll edit that out. So yes, as Natalie and Panay point out, Natalie was saying that there might be additional bandwidth so that Zoom might not work perfectly. So if we jump into the record feature, I could record this meeting, and I would recommend recording it on this computer, this option. I can record this on the computer, and then I could upload it to Kaltura in the video. If you search for video in the eWeaver portal, that would be a way that you can make the meeting available to students later. And even if they were present, it still could be helpful to have access to that video at a later time. So we've covered, and I can pause or stop the recording. And it's going to save to my computer when it ends. And two buttons we haven't talked about, maybe invite. Maybe we would invite someone. I suggest always using email to do that. And reactions, so we can give someone a thumbs up maybe, that we can express that personally. But I think that is a quick intro to facilitating a Zoom meeting. Any other comments from anyone?
Yes, I have one, Ryan. If you have any students with hearing impairments that need closed captioning on the video before you upload it, if you upload the video to UJA, then UJA has an automatic closed captioning feature. So that may be an option if you have a student with a hearing impairment in your class that you may want to use.
Yes, that is very important to make these videos accessible. Yeah, I was surprised that Kaltura doesn't do that, but UJA does. Mm-hmm. And if for some reason YouTube also does a pretty decent job.
Yeah, UJA is a little bit better than YouTube in the decoding of what we're saying, but either one will work. And you can always go back through and edit the words if you see something is very much misstated in the closed captioning.
Which is definitely much better than YouTube. YouTube, you have no option to edit.
Right.
Okay. So, great. Thank you all for helping with this to model for our colleagues. Any other thoughts?
No, thank you for facilitating this.
Okay. Well, and thanks for being willing to share this video. So, have a great day, everybody. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.